Hi guys, okay. Today I'm going to show you how to make a game slightly like this. You see the cat slides and he can jump and he bounces. I'm going to show you how to make one of them today. Right. So first of all, you'll need to open up Scratch. Okay. Then what you'll need to do is in the stage, go into backgrounds, click edit, and then just draw a black rectangle or every colour you like at the bottom. So just get right at the edge, drag it down and press OK. Alright, now what we want to do is go into scripts on the sprite. Let's go to the variables and click make a variable. Right, for this one we're going to do for all sprites. We're going to name it gravity. Okay. See here, gravity's up there. And now what we're going to do is in control, we're going to say when the green flag is clicked, we're going to set gravity to 0.3. We need to set it to minus 0.3. So minus 0.3. Okay. Now what we need to do is make a new variable. We're gonna do it for only this sprite, and we're gonna call it velocity. Okay. So now it says sprite1 velocity. And what we're also going to do is make another variable called, well, for this sprite only, and we're going to call it bounce count. Those are all the variables you're going to need for this, okay? So, also at the start, we want to set bounce count to 0, and also set velocities to 0. Okay, so now what you need to do is go to control and put in a forever loop. Now what I'm going to do now is make the cat fall, and when he's falling make him go faster. Okay, so basically his velocity. So what I'm going to say is gonna set velocity to, and you'll need to go in operators, get the +1, put that in there, go back to variables and say gravity plus velocity. So what that's going to do is it's going to change the velocity to gravity, which is minus 0.3, plus the velocity. Sorry, I need to do that the other way around, otherwise that's not going to work. So velocity plus gravity. So basically what that's doing is his current velocity is 0, and he's going to plus on the minus 0.3, and if you plus on the negative, you're going to minus instead. So he's basically setting his velocity. Well, you'll get the general idea. So then what we need to do is go into motion and then set y to velocity, his current velocity, plus, let's go back to motion, his current y position plus his velocity. This should make him fall. Press the green flag and he falls down and he gets faster. So we drag him back up to the top. He's going really fast. Wait. at the start, we're going to make him go to x 0, y 0. So here we go. You probably can't see it, but he's going slightly faster. That's basically whenever he's, well, I'll show you what I mean. If we put in this if statement and put this block of code in the else, then go to sensing and go to touching colour and then pick the black colour. Put that back in. Now basically that's saying if he's touching colour, do something. He doesn't do anything at the moment. Else, if he's not touching the black, he's going to fall. So we basically want him to stop when he hits the black sort of floor at the bottom. Okay, so now what we need to do is go to variables and then simply set velocity to 0. So now when he goes down, he should just stop. There you go. Okay, stop that. Now, you're probably thinking, he stops pretty quickly. So, you probably just... Earlier we made this variable called bounce count. So we're going to make him bounce when he hits the ground. This is what you need to do. So, what we need to do, for the moment, is sort of just stopping immediately. So what we want to do is make him bounce. Now earlier we made a bounce count. We're going to use this to make this cat bounce. So first of all, what I'm going to do is put in another if statement inside this if touching colour, not inside the else. We're going to put this in the else. Then what we're going to say is go to operators. If bounce count, I'll just put it less than 2. If bounce count is less than 2, do something. So what we're now going to do is say if the bounce count is less than 2, we're going to set the velocity. So if we go get this, set velocity to its current velocity. Current velocity times by -1. And then what we're going to do is obviously set y to y. Oh wait, operators. Set y to y position plus its velocity. Okay. And then what we're going to do is set the velocity to its current velocity divided by 5. So set velocity to its current velocity divided by 5. Then we're just going to change this bounce count. Change bounce count by 1. So that is the oops, sorry, I put it in the wrong one. So that is the bouncing script here. In here, if bounce count is less than 2. Basically what that is saying is we don't want the bounce count to go over 2. and else just set velocity to 0, which will just stop him. But if the bounce count is less than 2, I'm going to set velocity to velocity times -1. So that's basically sort of decreasing it by 1, if you like. It's sort of like that. It's just getting it smaller. So it's, you know, a tiny amount. And then obviously we need to do set y by y position plus velocity. So that's setting the y to velocity. Then set velocity to velocity divided by 5. That's basically making it smaller. And then change bounce count by 1. So then the second time it will be 2, and then the third time it will say the bounce count is 3, so that's more than 2. So we just go to else and set velocity to 0. So this should work. As you can see, it's just bouncing like that. If you look on here, the velocity, he gets faster as he's falling, and then it gets smaller and just turns to 0. So that's the bouncing bit. Okay, so now what we need to do is we're going to make an entirely new script. So go to Control, and then when the green flag is clicked, just clean this up. When the green flag is clicked, I'm going to put in a forever loop. Sorry, there it is. And then put in the forever loop if sensing key space key is pressed, and inside that I'm going to put another if say if touching color black, we're going to set bounce count to 0. This is for him to jump, by the way. So we're just going to set the bounce count back to 0 because he obviously needs to bounce again when he hits the black line at the bottom. So set bounce count to 0, and then what we're going to do is set the velocity to 6, and then obviously what we need to do is set the y value to its current y position plus his velocity. So that's basically just increasing the y position by 6, so he'll go up. Okay, so if we just play that and press the space key, he jumps. So that's that jumping bit. Now that's pretty good now. All we need to do now is add in him so he can walk left and right. So to make him walk left and right, we're going to need to make a new variable. We're going to name this variable something like, I don't know, horizontal velocity. We'll just do horizontal vel. Okay. So what we want to do is in this forever loop here, put another if statement. And in that if statement, we're going to put key left arrow pressed, set, so we go to here and set the horizontal vel to -3. Okay, and then same for the right arrow, sorry. Those two in. Put right arrow. And we're just going to say by 3. And then obviously, just outside, we're just going to say, in this forever loop, change x by the horizontal vel. Okay. So now you can move him left and right. But the problem is that he's not stopping. He is just moving side to side and not stopping. So we just stop this. What we're going to want to do now is to make another script, another if statement, just in here, not in there. Just scroll down a bit, get that out. We're going to put in, we're going to put in if, and go into operators, not, oh no, first of all we need to and, so if and, if not, and another not in the other one, if not, key, left arrow, and not right arrow. We're going to set the horizontal velocity to its current horizontal velocity times by 0.92. Put in horizontal vel. So set horizontal vel to horizontal vel times by 0.92. Okay. And then that will just mean that's going to get really, really small, and eventually it's just going to go to 0, and that will make the cat drift. Well, I'll show you. Make him drift like this. It's just getting smaller and smaller until it gets to 0.0. That's basically it. And obviously you can jump at the same time. So that's that. And he's just drifting like that. So that is basically it. I'm just going to tidy it up a bit by pointing the cat in other directions. So obviously we want, when the left arrow is pressed, we'll point him in the direction -90, because that's left. And also, for the right, we're going to point him in direction 90. So now, when you move him left and right, yes, he will go upside down. What you need to do is go up here and just say only face left and right. So now he will only face left and right and not flip around. Also, just going to clean that up, and I'm also when he jumps, I'm going to change his costume to this costume so it looks like he's jumping realistically. So I'm going to go in looks and switch the costume to, which is this one. Then when he jumps, he's gonna switch to that costume. Yeah, but now he's staying in that costume, so we obviously need to, when he's touching in this one, he's touching the colour, switch to costume. Should we put that just here? Switch to costume, costume 1. Now when he goes back onto Earth, he stops. Changes back. That is basically it. You could obviously make a really good game with this, because you can, it's much more slidey and stuff. Oh, at the start, let's just, instead of going to there, let's just say, well, let's go to that position. So what's that? x1, y minus 113. Minus 113. Okay, so he just starts it there now, and obviously you can still jump and stuff. There are endless things you could do with this. You could make a really awesome game with this. It's quite a lot of code, but it's seriously worth it. So that is basically it. Please comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.